Welcome to our podcast on navigating chaos with AncientFuture.Today and the Grand Council.
And so what are the many things as we meet and greet all of you with this topic of relaxing? What are the many different ways that humans can relax and do relax and must learn to relax? Well, relaxing rules is one. Certainly all of you through the COVID period have had your belly full of rules and regs heaped upon you by this or that authority here or there, preventing you from moving about the place as you would normally expect to be moving about the place. And little did you know that you are not allowed to move about the place now by someone who has declared themselves the authorities on how the world works. And so it is an interesting thing for you to relax into someone else's assumption of your sovereignty and your authority to tell you how you are going to live. And many, most, if not almost all of you have relaxed into that possibility as an experiment. So how's it going? And how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? What we say to you is tongue in cheek, and that's a lot of tongues and a lot of so-called cheeks for this council to be offering in this humor, which is not really all that humorous if you have taken an angry stance to the restrictions that all of you have been placed under. And if you have nonchalance and you have just gone along with it, that's one way of relaxing into it. And if you have taken a tongue-in-cheek and a rather objective view of it, you can almost see the humor of it, that an entire world would acquiesce to such an interesting experiment, we must say, from our perspectives. So there is that relaxing into navigating chaos. There is the relaxing in terms of, well, I'm no longer having to commute to a job, for those of you in nations where you drive to your work, or you walk. For example, the Africans who have been asked to stay in their villages and not walk for water have had water delivered to them. Why was that not done decades ago when it could have been done? So they've relaxed into a new way, not as healthy as they were before from the walking. Their neck muscles, though, for the women who carry the water on their heads, are relaxing into a different way of relating to 40 pounds of weight on their heads. Those of you who are in nations who drive to work, sometimes an hour or more each way, are relaxing into listening to podcasts without moving along the highway, having to multitask and watch your back for the cars going too close or speeding too fast or cutting in or out of traffic. So you've relaxed into the virtual ways of being and doing. Some of you oldsters, if you are listening, have relaxed into your biases about getting onto social media and speaking to your family at a distance rather than writing longhand letters. For your post office, at least in Canada and the United States, have deteriorated significantly in their service, in their costings to you. All of it has gone up remarkably. There is a greater degree of theft in your post offices now because there are people working there who feel privileged to take what it is that they think that is their due because they don't feel that they are being compensated in ways they think they should be, because they are working and having to get up at the crack of dawn and walk through your yards with your dogs and whatever to deliver you mail. And then they feel like, well, it's my right to take this magazine because I would like to read it. No, not. And it is happening, not just in your countries, in the UK and various different places. All of these social systems, all of these social services have become far less efficient, far less effective. And it is because the time of the systems of that nature are over. And it is just a matter of them deteriorating enough that either all of you who have relaxed into the far lower, what shall we say, standards of transportation, of hygiene, although there is this layer of hygiene that has been layered over all of the littering and all of the dirty city streets and all of the this, that, and the other that have conveniently been ignored through this relaxed period of the last 2 years of all of your lives worldwide. All of that has been ignored in favor of the hand wipes and the nose swabs and the this and the that. So you see how imbalanced and how ridiculous the scales of what is important and what has been layered on that wasn't working very well to start with before and has now deteriorated significantly. All of you have been more relaxed about that than you may wish you had been when you wake up to how much you have relaxed into letting others tell you how to live. And that has been one way for all of you to navigate the chaos long enough that you have been able to see where some of it has been an advantage to humanity. Some of it has been a serious disadvantage to humanity as a whole. Some of you individually have been wonderfully advantaged. Those of you who didn't like your jobs before now don't have to front up and deal with everyone in the same ways, or even with the workload in the same way, or a boss or whatever. Some of you have been fired. Some of you have been laid off. Some of you have chosen to leave a job. Some of you are taking money from welfare now and would never have allowed yourselves to relax into that form of support. Some of you are not relaxed at all in the chaos. You have your children to teach and to guide and to listen to and to play with and provide for. And it has been very tough for many of you around the world. And you have not relaxed into the tough part of it. Obviously, that would be rather odd for a human to do. But you have relaxed into the possibility that you are able to do it. As stressed and as unhappy and as complaining and as debilitated as some of you might feel by it, you've done it. And that says to you, all right, now, if, when I am ready, we are ready to make changes deliberately, in our parlance, it would be when you are ready to be the master consciously on your own masterful journey, which you are already, and you come to consciousness about that and you say, all right, I am the architect of how my life goes. I am the co-creator on what I choose to leave the same and then change if I wish. And I am the decision maker. So now what? Now that things are starting to relax a bit, some of the rules are being loosened. Some of them are even being abandoned. The whole nation of Norway has said, all right, enough. We are just going to treat this COVID experiment as flu of some sort. And winter is approaching. There will be a certain number of deaths due to flu or influenza, if you wish to call it that. And this is how we will deal with this particular part of this worldwide experiment here in Norway. We're going to do it differently, our way, for us, the way we choose to do it, in sovereign terms as a nation. And there are individuals around the world who are listening to one another's possibilities, learning from each other. Some of them are based in fear. Some of them are based in love. Some of them are based in desperation. Some of them are based in mission and zeal and a desire to make those who have made others uncomfortable for the last 2 years or last 20 decades or however long you think the nefarious forces have been pressing in on you, whether you were aware of it or not. Some are advocating for vengeance and justice, and then there are others who are very, very devoutly asking that love be the solution. Love for self, love for others, love for planet, love for freedom, love for sovereignty, love for masterful living. So you see, all of you are navigating one way or another through the chaos. Some neighborhoods have come together in remarkable ways and are growing food in everyone's front yards instead of watering lawns in those suburban areas of the world. Others are figuring out a secondary economy so that no one is starving. Others have figured out that they do not need to run to a health service every time they get a twitch or a twang, that perhaps they could learn to doctor themselves in ways that are acceptable, perhaps not ideal or optimum. And yet, some people have discovered that they are actually healthier as a result of not taking their prescription drugs. Others have found that the ones they take are vital, and they appreciate them more, and they are not as cavalier about their privilege as they might have been before, to have access to healthcare and other things that are helping them, they think, to elongate their lives. Others of you have come face to face with death yourselves, either through your own illnesses or your loss of loved ones through illness. All of you have had an opportunity to look at the numbers that have been trotted out to reinforce the restrictions and regulations as necessary for the world. And some of you have interfaced with those numbers as if they are the truth. And that is how you have navigated the chaos, believing in the numbers being real. Others of you have looked at them and gone, not possible, not even logical, not acceptable, if not the other two things. So you see, all of you have your ways of navigating chaos. We ask you to relax into the way you are navigating chaos to the point where you can laugh about it, where you can have a sense of humor about how you have personally navigated the last 2 years of your lives. And begin to say, all right, where am I willing to be as relaxed as I am now? Where am I willing to relax even more? And where am I through being relaxed about this, that, or the other? And what positive, constructive, abundant, prosperous, loving things am I willing to do differently now? Because I'm through being relaxed so much about this or that. It is time to take a look at how you have relaxed through the COVID experiment on your planet and decide to be more relaxed about this, the same relaxed about that, and not relaxed about this or that as you navigate chaos. For it will continue. Chaos will be the name of the game for a while. And then constant change will become the norm at some point for all of you. Some of you will do well in it, some of you will not. And we ask you all, to the limits of your capability, to the extreme limits and exterior limits of your capability to relax into change, that you make a commitment to yourself that you will so do. For it will assist you for those times of chaos ahead. We will be with you throughout. We will love you as always. And we ask you to go with our love and blessing. And for now, adieu.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Navigating Chaos, podcasts with the Grand Council.